Welcome, beautiful beings. Hope you're doing really well. We're just sliding into the end of 2024. I hope you had a really beautiful holiday season. Really beautiful. So, it just came to me to offer to all of us just kind of a sachet through this last year. It has been quite a year. And not sure about all of you, but this was a year of letting go. There was so many things I noticed in our life and around. It was just things breaking and needing up leveling. Breaking wasn't a bad thing. It was like, oh, let's recognize this has been around for 20 years. It needs to be up leveled. Those kind of things. And but what happens sometimes, if it all happens every couple days, there's the next thing, and you just have to laugh. I mean, at some point, you can't take it personally, right? And I think what was happening was 3D. 3D was giving its last little, mm, its last little. And I think this has been the year of really tracking 3D and tracking, it around us and tracking it as a modality of consciousness, not a modality of reality, a modality of consciousness. In other words, this is where we are putting our attention on is these particles that are all around us. And so anyone is really called to kind of um, do the review, do the review. And perhaps in doing so, if you haven't joined us for the whole year, you're kind of go, wow. And then you get to go back to the Quantum Whisperer on YouTube and just go, I want to know more about that. Because it's all there. It's all there in our videos. And some of those are really worth taking another journey into and through. And you just have to find the ones intuitively that you're called to. Mostly in those moments when you're hanging out or when you're cooking or when you don't have to watch, you can listen. And especially, I'm going to say, the ones that had to do with our upgrades to QC. So let's get started on our journey, shall we? Okay, so here we are gathering on the Quantum Weekly. And the quantum, I mean, we're such a good example of it because all y'all are all over. Some on the West Coast and some on the East Coast, and maybe a few dotted here and there in the middle. But we're just a real example that we're entangled. We're entangled on the quantum, and we're making choices to nurture that entanglement and to give that field energy. And when we do it, guess what? Energies come in from other places and say, we see you. Okay, good job. Here, we're gonna give you some yummy stuff, and we'll get to that. So how we began this year was a deep dive into the I am divine feminine. And we began programming these frequencies into our field and into ourselves individually. And if you will remember, and this is something that I think we could almost just do another 20 weeks of deep diving into it because the I am feminine is just so profound because it's just been so negated by so many religions and so many, governments and so many corporations. And it's time to include it in because it's so juicy. It's got so much yummy, yummy energy. And to say I am is to declare that frequency in your field. And that frequency, I mean, just think about it. If you went around all the time and you go, Yes, and I am love. What do you think would happen after, well, I'm going to tell you, after 6 weeks, huge shift. You focus on any one of those declarations for 6 weeks, you're going to get at the end of those 40 days, you're going to get a big shift. It's just how the nervous system works. If you hold that frequency for 17 seconds, I am love. I am love. I am love. You continue that, holding that intent. You begin to feel the vibration of it come in. I am love. I am love. I am love. That's about our 17 seconds right there. You'll get a shift. You'll just get, it's been proven. If you can hold an intention clearly without any bias, it's something's going to manifest around that. So, wow, it was really powerful. And what we did was, so I want you to notice these little waves. And into the waves now, we're going to program these beautiful, these are mostly the I am feminine. Mm-hmm. And you'll see even some of them, I kind of inserted the word divine, right? Because we learned something from that, right? So don't forget to use your I ams. And this really, really is, you think, well, yes, we women have to do it, but now everyone has to do it, men, women, children. And yes, it would be lovely if we could get our animals to say it. Go hug a tree. Go hug a tree and say, I am divine beauty. See what happens. And that tree will go, I know, me too. Right? So take these are all 20 of them are all encoded on the quantum whisperer. And you can just go, I need a little bit more clarity about grace in my life. Okay, I'm going to go listen to that and just enjoy some or all of these. I'm blessing. You know, I think one that's very cool, and I'm writing about this now in my new book. The very first thing that I downloaded when I was getting this download about the IAMs 30 some years ago is it said, I am a place to receive. And this is a big deal because a lot of us either don't believe we're lovable or someone told us we weren't, or we're not getting that reflection, etc. And part of it is we have to receive, right? And the simple way to say that is I am attraction. I'm attraction. Because magnets receive what they're magnetizing, what they're pulling towards them. So I am attraction. And then just say, well, I'm divine attraction. And then we'll go a little bit further on this as we journey into our space here. Okay, so take a quick look at those around. You take a quick look and see if one jumps out at you and just say, okay, end of the year, tomorrow night. And by the way, this is a full moon. So this is the perfect time to grab one of these and program it in. Program it in. And if you're not sure which one, then just say, I'm divine inspiration. It's right there in the middle. I'm divine inspiration. And see what comes in. See what comes in and allow it. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to really encourage all of you to really have that inner ear tuning to your intuition. And if you hear something, stop for a moment, go, no, what was that? See if it comes through, and then investigate it. There's been many of those coming through, and I'm following them, and they're working. I missed one. I missed two. And I got to see some, 3D come out of that. And I just had to eye roll at myself, just like you did hear that, didn't you? Yeah. So, okay, we're moving on now to our next journey. So, we focused on up leveling our frequency throughout the week with these I am offerings. And this is the thing. It really helps if you pick one of those that's hard, do it for a whole week. You'll start on a Sunday or Monday, things will rumble up, all the contradictions to that will rumble up. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it'll clear because it works that fast. So why not? Why not? And who knows, maybe you can get through the rumble in one day and go on to the next one. So, as I shared back in the summer, I was creating those beautiful cards and got really into just holding that space. And it really made my whole time away on the East Coast so magical. And so one day I'm riding my bike, up hill and dale, and I hear, well, I am divine love. Because I'd just been saying I'm love. I'm like, ooh, I like that. That feels right. And so, about a week later, I am quantum love. I am crystalline love. They just downloaded. Because of course I was, into divine inspiration and I was into intuition and things like that. So they bombed through it. And this became preparation for us for um for our future work. So you can take any of those and you can and just do one or two. I am love, I'm divine love. But when you go quantum love, you go big. You go big. And crystalline love, that takes you pretty into this kind of, I call quantum 5D. Because it is not dependent on density. Okay. Crystalline love is your upgrade. You're up level to 6D. And then avatar love is 7D. So we had I am love. I mean, we really, of course, focused in I am peace. There's a lot going on in our country. I'm divine peace, quantum peace. I am crystalline peace and freedom. And we know that we celebrate freedom here. I am freedom. I am divine freedom. I'm quantum freedom. I'm crystalline freedom. And what that is, that's the freedom to choose every moment. And this becomes very important as we migrate from 3D to 5D. It's all about choice. It's all about choice. So in addition to that journey we took through the divine feminine, we also honored time, space, earth cycles through sacred festivals and full moons, didn't we? And some of those were quite beautiful. And one of those, which, hey, I got to say that I think it was one of our esteemed members who said, well, are you going to do something for Lionsgate? And I'm like, well, it's tomorrow. Well, okay. Well, what happened? We're going to see something very special happened. Yes, we took our deep dive into 5 and 6 quantum crystalline reality because we had a visitation from the Lyran. She came in full crystallization manifestation, and she manifested, shall we say, a markup for each of those who joined us on that particular amazing time. That was 8/8, right? And then 2024, which added updates. So we had a lot of eights going. We know that 8 is our magic number. And I'm super happy that 8 plus joined us today. So we began our upgrade to quantum crystalline summertime, right? With the Lyran, and there were visitations for 3 because we had a call to up level. This is our word. Upgrade kind of seems like pretty mechanical. Up leveling is energetic. And the first thing she called upon was our intellect. And to just to move into like a higher format of being able to perceive the world, perceiving the world as what it truly is, and that is it's a simulation. And also then to begin to nurture our intuition. And again, I'm going to really encourage you to just keep turning the dial on your intuition. If you know how to self-muscle test, do that, pendulum that. You can put your hands on your heart and lean into something or lean away from something. But sometimes it just drops through. It just drops through, and you have to say yes. I heard you. Okay, what can I do? And then we begin to shift our energy force, from a really solidified 3D configuration to more, well, I'm going to call it quantum crystalline. And you can see this in the background, this formatting. And it's so beautiful. And so many things on the earth are, for instance, water and snowflakes and those kind of things, snow. They have this six-sided or six. Well, they use the 6 very well because it's a very stable force and it interfaces well with the next one next to it. Okay. So, and it's not so constrictive as the square grid. The grid is it's very densifying. It's how we build things is with that grid, but also there's a control mechanism to it. There's a control aspect to it that's not allowing us to expand. So we've got to start to embrace a new possibility for how our energy is going to be configured. And then this will allow us, beautiful beings, this interconnectivity that we're celebrating. And this is so important, this interconnectivity. And just feel it now amongst us. I know a lot of you know each other kind of on a different level because you meet outside of here. So you bring that as a strengthening aspect to our field, and it's to be celebrated. So let's just take a moment here and just do a little tune in. There we go. And as soon as you all start to do it, I can see the field goes crystalline. It's just that easy. And we've been doing this now for a number of years, but we're in the process of formalizing our ability to do this. And as the field manifests, then let that field infiltrate into your etheric structure and initiate the next level of upgrading to quantum crystalline. And the quantum can come first because that's 5D, and we're going to get a little more into that. But the crystalline is something, especially when we meet as a group of 8. It's there. So allow it to infiltrate now that which you perceive as you. And then maybe have, with your eyes closed, just have a little gander at the form that's right here. That is you. And then nod your head and say, okay, let's do it. Just say yes. Yes, yes, yes. And then tap your breastbone. Yes, 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 yes. Tap your breastbone. That's a simple spiritual hack. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. Beautiful. So, in this up leveling of intelligence, intuition, energy force, and interconnectivity, it benefits us personally, but you have to choose it daily. You have to choose it in moments when you'd least likely think you could choose it. Ah, rah, rah. Or, or like, oh, no, that's when you choose it. And in time, what's going to start to happen is you've made so many choices to up level that when you get pulled into 3D nonsense, minutia, drama, trauma, blah, 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 all that, you're going to feel the difference and you're going to go, ooh, well, that doesn't feel so good. And you're going to use one of the spiritual hacks that we've shared, that I've shared with you. And I am writing that book right now. I'm on it. I'm on it. I know that it has to be. It has to be out there in the world for us to make this shift collectively to 5D. Okay, so all right, so then we have this 3D, 5D thing going on, right? And we go, well, oh, it's everything's so subtle, but it's really not. You know, um, there's so many reasons why we maintain in our nervous system the solidity. It's just for ease and grace, moving around and take care of business because we're embodied. But I've seen the move, seen the earth kind of vibrate and move. And you know, the movement, the waveform is within us. Okay. So yes, we appear as a collection of particles, but we're also, on another sense, we're a waveform. So part of what I need us all to do is to remind ourselves several times a day, oh, this is an illusion. And we can kind of think of the wall of illusion and we're on one side in case we go to the other side, but it's actually an overlay. It's an overlay. It's a vibratory overlay. And it's a projection. It's a simulation and it's purposeful. But it's time to begin to observe it for what it is, and that is the simulation. It's just time. This is where we're going in 2025. Okay. So, who creates the simulation is 4.5D, the projector. So, what's been happening, especially at the end of the year, there was some kind of interesting, I want to say, uh, illnesses that went through my body for various reasons. I just renamed them purges and got into it. And but during one of those, I just decided to go in and look and see what was causing this, what was creating it in my field. And I saw some things, but what was interesting, I went to the in-between place and it was 4.5. And this is where I perceived that the projector of this simulation, how we perceive things and organize things, was coming. And it was there that I kind of experienced it was kind of like looked like this, like waveform and aqua, which made me feel like in that simulator projector, it's starting to get infiltrated with 5D because I definitely perceive an aqua glow around 5D. I don't know why it's that. It just, I've seen it various times in my life. So it's time for you just to play around with it. I mean, don't do it when you're driving on the freeway, okay? But you know, when you're around the house, just kind of, you're looking at trees, you're out in nature, you go, interesting, and see what shows up. And today I went into the fog. It was so dense up on what we call Mountain Drive. And guess who showed up? One big, beautiful stag deer leaped across the road. We turned around, eventually came back, 3 coyotes. And of course, my dogs were barking, barking. And they just went up in the hillside and they were observing us. And they were so calm and so present. And then a little bit further down the way was this big, beautiful, tall crane. So nature shows up for us because I've been asking for nature to show up. The wild, because I just feel like it's such a bridge for us. And it took a couple days, but they were like, okay, we're here. Why'd you bring the dogs? So anyway, it's time to see through it. So again, you ask yourself, and this is for you to ask. This is not for you to take my word for it. You just go, well, who is creating the simulation? Is it me? Is it God? Is it another force? Is it serving me? Ask those questions of yourself and then see what shows up. I'm going to be curious what shows up for you. Okay, so all of this then, started bringing through these ways that we were going to deal with 3D. And one day I woke up and this voice said, spiritual hacks. And I'm like, perfect. Of course, a couple weeks later, you're going to write the book, Your 20 Spiritual Hacks to Enlightenment. I'm like, you mean if we do these hacks, we get to be enlightened? Oh, yeah. And here's the deal. Within a couple of days, I happened to see this quote from Deepak Chopra, and it said, here's the description of enlightenment from the Vedic scriptures. A, joy, bliss begins to burble forward and out and into your environment. Burble, joy, bliss. Second thing, synchronistic experiences, miracles. And that 2 illnesses that I got to have the privilege of going through put me into 5D. And what this did is it started allowing these little miracles to happen. So I sat down, I said, hey, I want some interaction with the wildness out there. And right away, within a day, this really beautiful ruby crusted kinglet showed up and started just hanging out in front of our big picture window and interacting with our energy. It was so cool. It was so lovely. So, and then of course, the beautiful manifestations today. So try it out. Try it out. Just really take any of the spiritual hacks that I've shared with you. And there's some, I'm not going to share them all now, but they're in there on the Quantum Whisper. Go have a look and see, but use them throughout the day. And what is the primary one? Love, love, love. We discovered that many years ago. It came through. Love yourself, love God, love others. The reason you love yourself first is if you don't, you can't have an exchange with that. So you got to love yourself because you are love. To get to 5D, you have to get that. You are love. That's your biggest I am. Because that's where the interconnectivity really starts to bloom. So here's a few of them. Here's a few of them. Love, love, love. And you say it when you're the most irritated. You go, love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love. And then you start laughing. 2, judge not. And not even because least she be loved. No, because judging separates you from your oneness factor. It's not worth it. And you can see there's a little thing that happens in your brain when you move into that judgment mode. And it gets tempting, especially when there's people who are doing things that are not good. And you can observe things and go, that doesn't feel good. Or I don't think that's probably the best thing for humanity for this to be happening. But there's a tone there where you're observing it and tone where you're judging it. And you got to discern between the two. 3, lead with your heart, literally here, right here. This is your, it's all behind here. It's your heart center. Lead with that. If you're in a hurry, you go, no, I'm gonna lead with my heart. I'm gonna lead with my heart. It feels so much better. I mean, it does. Okay, next one, gratitude. When do you do gratitude? There's lots of times to do it, but around the table and little ceremonies and things. But the best time to do gratitude is when 3D's pulling you down. You don't feel so good today. You go, and I have a car and I have a place to sleep. And I have food in my refrigerator and I have a roof over my head. And I look out the window, I can see greenery and a bird just flew by. Right? So gratitude is really great if you can insert it into 3D blips. We'll call them blips. Kindness daily. Yeah, it's contagious. And it feels so good to be kind. It just feels so wonderful. And it might inspire someone else to be kind. Big thing, release the past. Anything pulling you back is pulling you into 3D, friends. So you got to release it. And I've given you some things that's going to be in the book, how to do that like that. Because spiritual hacks are meant to happen in the moment. But if you notice you're going into one of your old stories about so-and-so, you go, okay, just noticing I was doing that, no judgment, love, love, love. And that's how fast you can go. And then when you're really, really stuck, you jump into avatar love, which is love, 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 love. And you make it a song. You make it a dance. You make it a celebration. Love, 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 love. Yeah. Yeah. And that will get you through the really tough ones. I promise. Okay. Now, here we are, here we are. We're at the end of the year. So what you going to do? I'm going to suggest dedicate your life to seeing the illusion. Remembering, yeah, it's a simulation. And I'm a quantum influencer. So what am I going to do about it? Observe ego bursts. Still the mind. Still the mind. See if you can have moments where there's nary a thought in your head. Right? This will lead you to the most difficult, I would say, the second most difficult of the hacks, practicing non-attachment. We've known about it for a long time. It's been taught to us for a long time, the wisdom of the ages, but you got to practice it. And you got to look for those things that you're attached to. People, places, things. Doesn't mean you can't have them, enjoy them, but that attachment thing. So if something goes sideways, you're going to keep creating that over and over again until you let go. And at that point, then you can start shifting to 5D. It's like, I had some kind of stomach flu, and I just thought, I'm not going to be attached to this. I'm going to let it do its magic, and did. So even things that feel difficult and hard, see if you're attached, use a spiritual hack, and then shift to 5D. It's a practice. And this will then not only allow you to shift to joy, but it'll just blossom up in the most beautiful way. The most beautiful way. You'll just, like, oh my God. Isn't that just so gorgeous what just happened? Why the effort? Okay, it does take energy and effort to do this. This is to empower your personal sovereignty. And that's what this year was about. 2024, finding your personal sovereignty. That you're not dependent on other people to make you okay. Because you are, I am love, I am peace, and I am freedom. That means you have freedom to choose how you perceive reality as it presents itself in 3D. And this will begin to give you this in here, where you go. I know and I get who I am. I know and I get who I am. And that can be a spiritual hack. Just saying that. Just saying that. I know and get and love who I am. And I know I am here. And this allows you to shift to 5D now. So we have a little saying, we're going from minutes to moments. What moment is it? Well, it's time to shift to now. And you can still that mind of yours for a moment, and you can have your little 5D moment. And what happens is those moments accumulate and they get, shall we say, more heft than your 3D machinations. And at some point you get to go through. I wouldn't call it a portal. I would go through the projector, the 4.5 projector, and see it for what it is. And go, I see you. This is my choice now. And this will allow you to embrace enlightenment, your enlightenment. And this isn't a teacher or guru or anybody saying, oh, you're enlightened now. This isn't God coming down from the sky. And, it's something that you will be living. Yeah. This is what it's going to be about in 2025. So in 2024, we just gathered all these practices, right? For shifting to and living 5D, preparing for ascension. Now, here's what's so cool. Friends over Christmas Eve. No, it was solstice. It was solstice, excuse me. And Someone looked it up. No, someone said, hey, you know what 2024 was? It was about finding your personal sovereignty or your individual sovereignty. And we're like, wow. And I really reflected on these, well, I'm going to say at least 60 meetings that we've had because 52 weeks plus the new moons, or the moon, some new moons and all full moons. So that's, yeah, now it's probably closer to 70. We've had these meetings preparing for 2025, which is the year of spiritual ascension. 2025 is the year of spiritual ascension. How ripe is that? How long have we been waiting? It's delicious, but we're going to have to engage it. See, it's going to be there. The year of spiritual ascension is going to be there, but we have to engage and practice. A lot of it's on you, but I'm going to tell you something. If you show up and you get the field effect, it's going to go, it's going to accelerate, and it's going to accelerate, and it's going to be it's going to embrace you. The field is going to embrace you. Now, I could just write the book and send it to y'all and say, see you in a year, let me know how it goes. I could do that. I got plenty of things. I'm kind of always writing 3 books at once, but there's something here, right? There's something starting the week out like this, committing to it, getting here on time helps. It's going to be our practice. And a year from now, we're going to go, whoa. That's my prediction. So, in addition, I mean, you all know, those of you who've been with me a long time, order, observe, resolve, dissolve, evolve, and then revolve. The spiral moving upward, clockwise. Observe. That's an ego burst. Resolve. Stay with it till it dissolves. Evolve. And then ascend. One tick at a time. Ascension. I'm sure there's some, I guess the Buddha got to, Siddhartha got to sit under the Bodhi tree and get it all in one, but Siddhartha had been working it for a while. So you got to work it. Go back to your crystals code. If you don't know what that is, do a little research. Could be on my website. Your I ams. Okay. It's all there for you. It's all there for you on the Quantum Whisperer. And make it a delicious practice, not a have to, not a burden. Ask every day, okay, all right, what are we doing here today? What do I need to focus? What do I need to call in? What do I need to bring in? What's my best hack for today? And then what's amazing is you become a walking 5-6D Stargate. You become that. And that's, by the way, my beautiful friends, that's the 20th spiritual hack. Be of service. Dedicate your life to service for the good of all. So prepare. Okay, you guys got today and tomorrow go do, back in the day we used to do, and we might even do it this year, go to the beach, make an arrow, put all the things we want to let go of, wrap it up, burn in a bonfire. Next day, make a beautiful arrow, put all the things that we're going to intend for the year to come, and go plant it in the highest place we can get to. It can be on a rooftop, it can be on your highest mountain. But do a ceremony tomorrow, the next day, that just puts it in motion, your intention. So transition through the wall of illusion to live as this 5D embodied being and a QI. What's a QI? Quantum influencer. My friend and I decided that the new intelligence is not IQ, it's QI, right? But find your way to the now. This moment as often as possible. And nod your head and go, yeah, yeah. Because there's the joy. There's the joy. So many blessings to you for your year ahead. Love, love, love. Practice kindness daily. There's so many ways to be kind. You even are allowed to be kind to yourself. Call someone who needs to hear a voice. I'm going to do that right after we're done here. Think of people on their birthdays. Give $1 or $2, to that person standing outside the grocery store. Let somebody else go ahead of you. You go first. So easy. And then don't forget to receive, be a place to receive when someone extends kindness to you. Muy importante. Because that's how you refill your energy stores, It's got to go both ways. All right, lovely beings. Thank you for joining us. We had a full house today. Beautiful, beautiful. And hope you have some kind of ceremony that happens for you. And love, 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 love. Namaste.